Bound for PH Women's Open quarters, Eala hopes spirited run uplifts tennis in the country. The only Filipino left in the Philippine Women's Open, Eala once again delivers as she makes quick work of Japan's Himeno Sakitsum to advance to the quarterfinals. Manila, Philippines, more than winning, Eala hopes her run in the Philippine Women's Open sparks lasting support for tennis among Filipinos. Already through to the quarterfinals, Eala aspires that her run in the country's first-ever staging of a WTA 125 event can help lift tennis to new heights at home. "I hope they are just as motivated as me to watch tennis as I am to play tennis," Eala said of her supporters following her 6-4, 6-0 win against Japan's Himeno Sakitsum on Wednesday, January 28, at the packed Rizal Memorial Tennis Center. "I think we've had a lot of really good matches. I'm so happy with so many people that have turned out," she added. "Despite the rain and the heat, you're still here." Just like in Eala's opening round win over Elena Kariva, Filipino fans filled the stands with oohs and ahs even as the home bet played through early jitters against Sakitsum. Eala trailed 1-2 and 3-4 against her Japanese foe before she shackled Sakitsum for the rest of the first set en route to the 6-4 victory. From there, Eala took over as she showcased her elite court coverage to prevent Sakitsum from building momentum and secure the win. "I'm really happy even if the scores were a bit close," Eala said. "I was in a lot of tough positions in this match, especially in the first set, but I'm really happy with how I fought through it. I think there were definitely some points that felt like it was for her, but I was able to steal a couple, and that's what pushed me through." Eala redeemed herself against Sakitsum after a 6-0, 6-3 loss in their first meeting in the Japan Open Tennis Championships in 2023. The world number 49 Eala, the only Filipino left in the tournament, takes on Camila Osorio of Colombia in the quarterfinals on Thursday, January 29, at the same venue. Rappler.com. Bound for the PH Women's Open quarters, Eala hopes her spirited run uplifts tennis in the country. The roar doesn't always come from a packed stadium. Sometimes it rises from a nation watching quietly, hearts leaning forward, believing together. For Eala, every step toward the quarterfinals of the PH Women's Open feels like that kind of roar, felt more than heard, carried by the weight of possibility and the warmth of home. Eala walks onto the court with a familiar calm, the kind that belies both youth and ambition. There is no rush in her stride, no borrowed bravado. What she brings instead is intention. Each swing of the racket is measured, each point an argument made with patience and grit. This is tennis as conversation, between baseline and net, pressure and poise, and Eala speaks fluently. Her journey to the quarterfinals has not been a straight line. It rarely is. There are moments when rallies stretch into breathless marathons, when momentum teases and retreats, when the crowd inhales sharply after a missed chance. Yet Eala answers these moments not with panic, but with presence. She resets. She trusts her training. She plays the next point as if it were the only one that mattered, because it is. What makes this run resonate beyond the scoreline is where it is happening and who is watching. In a country where basketball courts dot every neighborhood and volleyball nets sway in schoolyards, tennis has often lived on the margins. But margins are made to be pushed. Every time Eala fights through a tough game, she widens the frame for what Filipino athletes can be, and for what Filipino kids can dream. There is a particular electricity when a player competes at home. The applause carries names, not just claps. The silence before a serve feels personal. For Eala, the PH Women's Open is not just another tournament. It is a homecoming of sorts, a chance to return the faith poured into her from afar. She carries with her the mornings spent training far from home, the sacrifices made quietly, the long view that excellence demands. Now, those investments echo back in cheers that swell when she breaks serve, in the collective exhale after a hard-fought hold. Her tennis tells a story of balance, between aggression and restraint, flair and fundamentals. She attacks when the opening is earned, defends when patience is required. There is a humility in her game, an understanding that winning is not always about force, but about timing and belief. And belief, right now, is contagious. Off the court, Eala has never pretended that her journey is hers alone. She speaks of coaches, family, and the generations of Filipino athletes who paved paths before her. She speaks, too, of the future, of courts filled with young players who see in her a mirror rather than a myth. If one spirited run can tilt the spotlight, she seems to say, imagine what sustained support could do. The quarterfinals represent more than advancement. They represent arrival, not just of a player, but of an idea. That tennis belongs here. That excellence can grow in Filipino soil and travel the world without losing its roots. That a young woman with a racket can carry a country's hopes lightly without being weighed down by them. As the matches grow tougher, the margins thinner, Eala's task remains the same. Breathe. Compete. Believe. The outcome will take care of itself. Whatever happens next, the message has already landed. Progress is possible, and it is happening now. In the end, sport is a story we tell ourselves about who we are and who we might become. Eala's run at the PH Women's Open is a chapter written with courage and clarity. It invites the nation to turn the page, not just to watch, but to participate, to pick up a racket, to stay after school, to build courts and dreams in equal measure. Bound for the quarterfinals, yes, but also bound for something larger, a future where tennis finds its place in the Filipino imagination and where belief, once sparked, keeps rallying back.